I drafted Jason. I drafted Travis. And if there's any other Kelseys out there, I'll draft them too. Absolutely.
We're back, fellas. Welcome, managers, to the 18th season of the Dragon Slayer'z Fantasy Football League.
And the pick is finally in. It's
plain and simple. I don't fear anybody in this league. I mean, these guys are jokers. Most of them are trash.
Yeah!
It's a new season with new chapters just waiting to be written. Draft day is just around the corner, and for the next 17 weeks, we get to live and breathe fantasy football. Friendships will be tested, accusations of collusion will be made. We'll see some god-awful trades and complete misuse of fab spending, but it will be a glorious 17 weeks. Cheers to year 18. Before we look forward to this year, let's take a look back at last year and how everyone finished and hear from some of the guys. Congrats to the man from Algonquin on his championship.
Algonquin. Champ Algonquin.
Some may focus on the fact that John finished 4 straight years in 8th place, but those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatness.
I just don't get that because 2 out of the last 7 champions are me.
John dominated the league the entire year, starting at draft day with some key picks in Jacobs, Tyreek, Keen Henry, Sanders, Devontae, and even Jamal Williams in the last round.
The question is, will John repeat as league champion? John was shockingly lucky this last year. Statistically, it shouldn't happen. Hats off to him, it did, but there is a 0.00% chance that he repeats the champion. This doesn't happen.
I don't see his name on this trophy.
Will John repeat this year? Absolutely not, because John is literally one of the worst
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
fantasy football members in our league and still somehow has like 2 championships. But he won't win this year. Absolutely not.
I got a history of being a champion, 2-time champion, 2-time champ's name, Smoking Jay. I want to draft my boy Justin Fields. If I'm not the best, I'm top 2. People who I do not fear, Jub, Johnny, Kyle, Jeremy, well, Brian too, Chase, Joel, Tyler.
They're all dead to me now.
I can't believe Jub won in 2019. That must have been COVID year. The more I think about Jeremy, average fantasy football player, average guy, mediocre poker player. Feels good, feels right. Start to finish, it was domination. I don't really have a message to the rest of the league. Focus on one thing, and that's next week, Monday night at 7 p.m. I'll throw a couple dollars down. I can't wait to gamble on this in every single game this year. I think Jub's better at gambling than me. I'll put a wager on it. KUNIT's a parlay gambler. I don't really mess with that. I think that BMAC likes the idea of fantasy more than the game of fantasy. Yes, I think Chase is a good commissioner. He's right for the league. Stop Bears.
Lane was trying to accomplish the ever-coveted back-to-back championships, but just fell short. I'd like to say I feel bad for you, but I'd be lying if we didn't all want to see you experience that bitter championship defeat for the first time ever. 5-1 all-time in championship games is still damn impressive.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy Lane, and let's count them. 5-time champs. So, you know, I feel like I got the most chances of anyone, you know, maybe me, Chase. Kyle's always scoring a lot of points, but the guy can never win somehow. I'm gonna just keep doing what I do. We'll look to get that 6th championship, and we will bring home another trophy that the wife can hate when I put it on top of our bed. John got lucky to win. He got lucky in the championship. Will he repeat as champ? No. We've never had a repeat champ, so I don't think year 18 is going to be the one that does it. Repeat as champ? Nah, no question, not happening. You know, who do we fear the most? Probably always Chase. Me and Chase, the most consistent, which is why the league hates us. They ain't us, they hate us, Chase. I'm sorry, you know, our commish, you know, they don't like him because he's the commish. They don't like me because I win too much. So haters gonna hate.
Your humble commish here had an injury-plagued season.
This is not ideal. This is not.
And life was looking pretty bleak when I lost Cup and Javonte. However, when you got Eckler and the Jet, anything is possible. One thing I know for sure is I won't be drafting Trey Lance.
Process of completing the trade of Trey Lance
as my QB for the 3rd straight year. B-Mac with back-to-back playoff appearances. That may be a first. I'll have to check the history books later. Although B-Mac is 36 games below 500 over his Dragon Slayer'z lifetime, he may just be a yearly contender now. One thing's for sure, we gotta get this man on Wall Street with the number of trades he makes.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Do you even remember who was on your team after making 18 trades?
I've been prepping, I've been training, I've been researching. I have the tools, I'm smarter, I'm better, and I want it more. You want to ask me if John's gonna repeat as champion this year? My answer is a firm no. John has a history of winning every now and then sinking into oblivion and becoming a last place finisher for the next 4 years. So I actually view John as probably the easiest competition this year. I'm actually not thinking about him at all. So I do have some trash talk for members of the league. One, KUNIT, can't get in my head anymore. Used to have the small ability, but I've evolved. I own you now. I have developed a strategy to not be affected, and I think this year you're going to be affected by me.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
Commish, Mr. Judgy Pants. Don't care what you think. Make my trades. Worked out until the very end. How does my wife feel about fantasy? Well, you see, I love fantasy football, and Amanda loves me so much that she really enjoys how much I enjoy it. So sometimes, like, I'm just watching the game. She's just watching me being happy. And it makes her happy that I'm happy.
Jubbs was able to turn around a last place finish 2 years ago into a 6th place finish. Something tells me you could have went even further if you had CMC and didn't trade away the #1 overall pick.
Traded the van for it, straight up.
Either way, I got a feeling we'll be celebrating old Jub in 2024. Just won't be fantasy football related. Congrats on the engagement, brother. JBONE, I gotta admit, I thought your season was over when you were 2-7. You went on a hell of a run though to end the season and make it into the playoffs. If it weren't for one game, you would have won the ship and capped off the most impressive comeback ever. 5th place was a solid finish and something to build upon this year.
Good season.
Congrats to Kyle on taking over the consecutive missed playoff streak from John. 3 straight years of missing out on the playoffs and finishing in 7th. You had us all nervous with that 4-headed monster of Josh Allen, CMC, Dalvin, and JT. If there's one thing that John Boy taught us about last year, it's that anything is possible. That's why I'm making the bold prediction that KUNIT will win his first ever Slayer'z championship this year.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
It's fantasy football, but the one person that I dislike playing the most is probably Chase, because somehow with his commissioner bullshit that he's empowered with, he somehow cheats the system. I don't know, I can't pin it, and none of the other members really want to help me identify this, but it's been an ongoing situation for years. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. So why will I win the league this year? I'm due, or I should be due, or I wanna be feeling like I'm due. I don't know. Probably because I'm gonna have, again, the most points scored like I normally do, and I'll finally win. How about that? That sounds good. The trash talk I have, why don't you all just sack up and actually listen to some of my trades I send you guys, instead of just going, oh, Kyle, here goes another one, here goes another one. No, actually, let's do some actual negotiating this year, you freaking bums.
Do the wives love fantasy?
Why?
I spend way too much time doing it.
So, do you think I'm going to win this year?
No.
Why?
Because you never win. Joel's gonna win.
No faith from the family members.
Well, we can't forget about Jer, aka Bye Week.
Dr. Dilligaff coming at you live from the only place I get sanctuary and quiet and peace. Bathroom. Hearing somebody just piss excellent.
Which literally translates to,
Barring any major injuries or, shocking turn of events, I'm pretty much a clutch for the top 1 or 2. We started off hot last year and then kind of fell off. Squeaked by, making sure I wasn't the loser of the group. This year, I don't really feel like I have to come in and trash talk. I'm gonna let my team do the talking for me. These guys are sitting here pouring over mock drafts and statistics, Yahoo, ESPN, sleeper rankings. I mean, they're going nuts. Real champions like me, even though I haven't won, just kind of walk in, good strong idea, good gut feeling, and just kind of shoot from the hip. Magic happens. What does my wife think about fantasy football? Well, let's just say I'm in the bathroom right now talking about it. Not a fan. Got a couple leagues going on.
I'll be right out.
takes up some of my time. Not too much of my time, because I just put players on the field as a good manager does, and I let the ball roll.
Some things never change. 4 consecutive years of drafting Mahomes early, 4 consecutive years of being on the bottom. Winston Churchill once said, "All men make mistakes, but only a wise man will learn from their mistakes." I speak on behalf of the league when I say thanks for not being a wise man, Jer. Tom had the longest playoff streak at 6 heading into last season, and I thought this was his year after his hot start at 3-1 and putting up some monstrous weekly scores. But when you put your faith in Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Swift, you can quickly see how fast it can come crashing down. Losing 9 of 10 remaining games had to be brutal to live through. But at least you avoided last place.
A little more than a week away. I really think that I win this season on Monday. We're drafting. I feel really good about my draft position. I feel really good about my keeper. I'll be keeping Garrett Wilson in the 6th round. Got the number 2 pick. I'm going to walk away from the draft already with top 2 running back. What I believe will be potentially a top 5 for the year. At the end of the day, I still think I'm going to be the one to beat. It really just comes down to history. I've won before. I've got some championships under my belt. And last year, first time in like 7 years, I think that I didn't actually make the playoffs. So I'll be back for sure. I really think another championship's in the card. The only person I have to fear is how I draft, and I feel good. I feel really good.
Oh, Joel, where do we even begin on where it all went wrong? Kamara in the 1st, A-Rob in the 4th, Dobbins, Thielen, Bateman. It was a difficult season for you, and I know it had to be even more painful to trade away Kelsey to try and salvage it. Tom and you are both sitting at 4-9 heading into week 14, and if you could have squeezed out one more win, you would have avoided last place and the punishment. Sometimes the fantasy gods just aren't with you. I'm looking forward to you serving out your punishment here soon by serving up some fresh squeezed lemonade.
And you are one pathetic loser.
What do I fear most about this year other than myself? Probably Christian McCaffrey getting hurt. Little teaser? Number 1 overall pick. Let's see, John's crazy draft's not going to pan out. Jubbs is, Bone, probably finish okay. You know, I tend to like Bone's draft. Brian's going to trade his way out of it. Kyle's going to do something ballsy early on. And then the guy he trades for will get hurt. Kyle's going to stash up on RBs and they're not going to amount to much. Jeremy's going to draft Mahomes overall, and that just has not panned out yet. But maybe this year's the year. T-Rags. He falls in love with certain guys that tend to not be the greatest. Sometimes they work out. Chase, Murph Dog, tends to put together a pretty solid team. Just hasn't been able to get it done as a late doggone. How to feel about the draft coming up? Well, not great. Everyone says certain strategies. I start highlighting guys that I like, and by the end, they're all highlighted. You can make stats say anything, but you know what I'm tired of doing? Listening to stats. Gotta listen to the old heart. It's gonna put me in the gutter, but I don't know. Will John repeat as champ? Hell no. Page out of my boy Shane Falco's book. Pain heals, chicks dig scars, and glory lasts forever.
Good luck to all the managers this year. Just remember, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Let's have a great fantasy season and make year 18 one of the best. God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do at this time, and this is better than those things.